this is a story that I know I have to tell. I was a little bit afraid of telling it because I might use a wrong word, but it's about the most radical transformation that I have ever witnessed in my 39-year career. It's about a woman who came to my house. She walked in completely debilitated. And she went into dancing in front of the mirror and walked out completely debilitated again. But what she said to me at the door when she left, I will never forget. And that's what this video is about, and the implications on our lives from what she said. Hi, I'm Monika Astara. I have been designing and making clothes and jewelry for women for the last 39 years to make women feel good about themselves and love themselves the way they are. So I have worked with thousands of women, and this is Sarah's story. One day when we were in Sedona, our air conditioning repairman made an appointment to come shopping with his girlfriend. And when they arrived, there was a third person. It was a woman. So we'll just call her Sarah. And when Sarah came from the car to the house, she was walking like she had cerebral palsy. And that's a word I was afraid to use, but it's the only word that describes how Sarah was walking. It's not by any means describing her condition, but I had a client at the time who had severe cerebral palsy, and I made a lot of his clothes, and he walked exactly like Sarah did. So, back to Sarah's story. When Sarah walked in, that's how she walked. And when I greeted her, the repairman said, "Don't pay any attention to her. She's my cousin. She doesn't understand. She doesn't talk to people. And just ignore her." So, like it often happens when I work with people, it's like somehow my regular mind blanks out and I intuitively start acting and talking. So I picked several outfits, walked over to Sarah and said, "Come with me." So I took her to the dressing room, and when I came back, the repairman said, "Don't be disappointed, but she'll stay in there until we leave and we get her out. She won't come out by herself. That's just the way she is." And within 2 minutes, Sarah came out in her first outfit, walking completely normal. She stood in front of the mirror, looked at herself, and oh my God, it was like her face lit up. Her smile was so radiant. And then she started dancing. So her and I, we talked, we laughed, we had such a good time. And the repairman and his girlfriend behind us, they had just dropped on the sofa with like staring. They couldn't utter a word. So when Sarah went back for the second outfit, I pulled some stuff out for the girlfriend. And then they both were playing in front of the mirror. They were dancing in the room. They were talking to each other. And all three of us had a lot of fun. Only about 90 minutes later, when they left, I asked Sarah what was her favorite outfit. And I wrapped it up for her and handed it to her and said, "My treat." She just lit up. She looked at me and she said, "Thank you, but I can't take it. If they saw me at home like this, they wouldn't be able to deal with it. But I can tell you this, I will live off of this experience for the rest of my life." Then she gave me a big hug, distorted her body back, and walked out the door like that to the car. I mean, I stood there close to tears. And I will never forget that and the implications of this. Here's what struck me and what never left me. Sarah didn't need to find herself. She knew exactly who she was inside, but she had kept it hidden in order to feel safe. All she needed to express it was a space where she did feel safe and to have someone around her who didn't know her the way she usually was and gave her the space to be who she was. And when she left, she made a conscious decision to go back the ways that she felt safe. So, as far as I can tell, that transformation was not a miracle. It was permission. She had permission to be, and that brought her out. And when she left, she made a decision to go back the way she felt safe in the world that she lived in. And that's not weakness, that's survival. So what I have observed over the last 39 years and working with thousands of people is that most of us don't distort our bodies systematically, but many of us do, like raise our shoulders, pull the neck in, makes us smaller, holds tension, and that impacts how we feel. But most of us distort ourselves emotionally and mentally. We shrink our voices, we dim our lights, and we perform versions of ourselves that feel safe. And those safer versions of ourselves have become second nature. But that isn't us. Our nature is expressing ourselves in creative ways that bring us joy. Everything else is just survival mechanisms that we built when we were kids and we didn't feel safe in our environments. And right now, the world really doesn't make us feel safe, but we do need a space or spaces where we are safe. And that's why I created this unconventional art and life channel. What I offer you here is what you might have not gotten when you were a child and what you might have even denied yourself as an adult, and that's permission to be you and permission to play. And that's, where magic happens. So if this resonates with you, subscribe and join me on a journey that I think is a lot of fun and supports us in being strong in a world that does everything to make us feel weak. So let's keep up the joy, the awe, and the strength.